We coming up today. We are up on Twitter. We are up on Facebook. We are having trouble coming up on LinkedIn. What's going on there? Let's see. We're coming up on Twitch. We are up on YouTube. What's going on LinkedIn? LinkedIn is trying again. Twitch is trying. Let's give them a couple seconds. We're almost there. There goes LinkedIn. There goes Twitch. Boom. We're up and going. Peace and good morning. Welcome to Getting It Together. This is where I'm practicing my skills with Restream.io, not an endorsement, and also working with a couple other products. And I'm sharing my journey with those as I'm preparing to do some things with the communities that I'm building, starting with HFR and Grayskull, Project RMA, and a couple other projects I'm working on. And just gonna get into it today, man. I actually took yesterday off, man. I was tired. I was beat, man. No lie. Um, and I also hear Mercury's in retrograde. So I'm giving more and more credence to that, y'all. I'm serious. I don't take anything that's given to me as information as fact until it's proven. But it's a high likelihood that that's some real stuff based on the experiences and events I've had during these time periods. But then again, it could all be perception, and I could be fooling myself, right? It's as real as we want it to be. Everything's as real as we want it to be. Um, today today's episode. Oh crap! I didn't do the right. I didn't rename the episode. I think I want to stop the stream just to start that over. But today actually it's okay actually. Today's actually makeup for yesterday. Yesterday I was supposed to do something. I was supposed to promote a single, Grayskull single that just dropped. I scheduled it late. I've been doing too many things at once, to be honest, man. I scheduled it late, so it definitely didn't make it to Apple and Spotify on time. But it's on Bandcamp, so it's on time. But it's not on time the way I'd like it to be. I'd like it to be available everywhere. But it's probably wiser to have it on Bandcamp first, so that people check that out first, possibly increase chances of buying. But not really doing music for commerce, if you know me. Music is what I do to keep my peace. But this single was important for me for sentimental reasons. It's the first time in 25 years that I've been had my voice properly mixed um, for a verse and released that as a single. It's definitely the first single I've released with me rhyming on it ever that I've released. So it's got some sentimental value, and it's part of a double feature. It's a double feature because on the 22nd, 10 days after yesterday, also going with this Tuesday, and there's a blog post I wrote about it. But on the 22nd, I'm dropping a second single that's kind of thematic. It's this one's kind of representing the new me with still a tie or a bind to the past. The new single, it's called the DAO Tone. And the old single, oh, my hands can't even be seen here. Um, the the single that's coming out on the 22nd. Sorry, I'm working with these Pomodoro timers, trying to learn how to use them and test them, thanks to Malcolm. Um, but the other single is an ode to the ways I used to make music, or an ode to the 90s and the original feel and what was, what made me love making music. It's an ode to that. So it's a visualizer. It's dropping on YouTube only. Might be both of these might be NFTs at some point in time. Not sure yet. It's a bear market. It's not really an exciting time to be dropping them right now. It's a time to be building and planning, and that's what I'm doing. But the second single is a YouTube exclusive for now. It's called Temple Tapes, and that one has two features on there that are really special. You can look at the Grayskull channel, and if you look at upcoming videos, look at the videos list, you'll see it's upcoming. But also if you look at dragonspitchfork.com/music, you'll see it listed there. You can click on it and click notify me so that you'll get a heads up when it drops in case you need a reminder. But it's got two special people on there that mean a lot to me, and they tie a lot to the sentimental part of my stories, or the most impactful part of my stories musically. So this is special. And another reason this dropping this all this year is very special is because my mentor passed away in 97, 25 years ago, the same year that was the last year I released a single. Um, Father Lord, and he's still my number one favorite MC of all time, favorite producer of all time. But he he passed away in '97, and it's a really long story. I don't know how much I can tell or I should be telling, because it's an emotional story for a lot of us. But it, for a long time, I blamed myself in a lot of ways for his passing. So I carried a lot of weight because of that, and it still hurts to think about. Um, but I also felt like I failed him in a number of other ways after he passed, which is one of the reasons I tried to figure out how to do music still after he passed, for a living possibly, because that was part of the mission, that was part of the goal, and I felt like I'd failed myself and failed him because I didn't do that, or because I didn't make it that way. But I was so broken inside, I didn't realize I was so broken inside that there was no way I could have done it without becoming a danger to myself and probably others. So I've learned to forgive myself in a lot of ways, but I've also got this motivation that pushes and drives me automatically that I kind of feel is akin to a part of his spirit, which is why I still do what I'm doing today, helping other creators, building with multiple communities, encouraging creation with integrity, meaning creation for the sake of creation, creation for personal wellness. Um, Doing that with Grayskull, and Grayskull really reminds me a lot of what um, I felt like we were building way back then. And it's not a replacement in any way, shape, or form, but it's definitely helping me heal, and it means a lot to me. So that's why I'm always wearing the flag. Oh man, so DAO Tone drops today. It's an emotional single, sentimental single. Hope you check it out. Um, it's a piece of my story. The next piece of the story, Temple Tapes, drops on the 22nd. Let's get into what we're here for, though. This is getting it together, right? Um, Usually I do a tip of the day. I figured I'd replace that with a dial tone so I don't go too long. 'Cause, I prefer to keep these somewhat short. I feel like this one's gonna be a long one because what we just came off of a weekend one, and also yesterday, took off. Um, needed to take off for sure, and I encourage. I don't care what you're doing, unless you've got a commitment to somebody else and it's going to negatively impact them. Um, and it's not going to hurt you too badly. Sometimes you got to make sacrifices, right? Got to be careful how I think through some of this stuff. I'm learning how to rewire and rethink my way of doing things, and accept the fact that my default way of doing things my whole life is not necessarily the way that I should continue doing things. So I'm taking my time to pause as I'm speaking on this. But yeah, if you are going to impact somebody else negatively, maybe you need to think twice, at least take some time to think about it. But if you're not going to and you need to for your personal wellness, if you need to take that pause, take it, man. Uh, doing business the way that we've been trained and raised and taught to do business is not healthy. It's damaging. It needs to change. The world is changing. Let's do it together instead of letting the world change us. Let's affect change ourselves and change the world together. Is how I look at things. Um, but yeah. So after taking a break yesterday, I think I'm gonna skip the tip of the day. Although that seems like it kind of came across as a tip. So never mind. But question of the day. I usually don't do these, but I had one this morning while I was in the shower, and I thought I'd share it just in case it helps stimulate some thought. If you don't learn how to use digital currency now, what effect do you think it'll have on your life later? Um, for me, the way I think about it, and the reason why I'm pushing into learning about it now is, if I learn about it later, then I'm just gonna be another fish in the stream. Whereas if I learn about it now, maybe I can help direct the current, and maybe even architect, this stream, some streams for myself to help find and buy me more and more freedom. And when I say freedom, I mean more of my own time, less dependence on structures that have been set before us. When I say free, I mean the ability to think for myself and to step outside of the norms and really evaluate whether the norms should apply to me, should apply to my loved ones, and to be free to experiment and try something different than what's normal. So digital currency, getting up on it now for me may give me the ability to find that freedom I'm working on building faster. And it also will help me be prepared for when this is the norm and not having to, scramble to figure out how to move, how to navigate, how to protect myself, and how to continue to build opportunities and financial wealth. There are many forms of wealth. Financial wealth is, you know, one that you need in order to have a complete and total healthy being, I guess, right? Um, so that's question of the day. We talked about how I skipped yesterday, because I needed a break. But also another reason I skipped yesterday, I forgot about this. I woke up around midnight yesterday morning, and I stayed up and just did my thing from then until about 2 something p.m. Took a little 30 some minute nap and then woke up around 3ish because there's supposed to be a Twitter space, and no Twitter space, but I had to wake up to be on for the joint. So I said skip that. But yeah, yesterday was just a day to reflect, to think about a lot of things, and to really soak. Just take a minute to be still. All this constant moving, sometimes if I'm moving too fast and too often, sometimes I make mistakes that create regrets. People say no regrets. No, sometimes I have regrets. Sometimes I make mistakes and I do things that might negatively impact somebody else, hurt somebody's feelings, for example. I don't want to do that. That's a regret for me. I'm never okay with hurting somebody's feelings. um if it has to be done, I understand it has to be done, but it never means I feel good about it. So I try to be more conscious and trying to learn that everything that seems like a fire and emergency isn't necessarily a fire and emergency. You can take a minute, push back, breathe, and really get a different perspective. Think about things, look at things from different angles, and that for me, that helps me be more and more at peace and settle with decisions I make. And again, it helps me operate in a way that causes the least possible harm as well. So, boom, yesterday was a break day. Something else that was dope though, since I was up so early, I'd already cut up my butternut squash on Sunday afternoon. We'd soaked the beans. So I started the butternut squash early. So we had butternut squash chili for breakfast. It was dope. I had to run to the grocery store to grab some peppers real quick, which is fun. I wanted to take y'all on that because I wanted to tell you about things. I wanted to go to the store at like 5 a.m. because I was so excited about the chili. But yo, it came out beautiful. It came out dope. Butternut squash, um, kidney beans, um, assorted colored peppers, red, orange, green, and some onions. And I forgot what kind of season I throw in. I always freestyle with whatever's around. It's delicious, man. But yeah, other than that, over the weekend, kind of working in reverse because one thing that happened over the weekend that I actually posted about yesterday was really interesting and timely, man. So, on Sundays, I do my mental maintenance space, right? Uh, Mental maintenance was at 4 p.m. Our focus, this was part three of our talk about autism, ADHD, and unmasking. And I was surprised by a visit from Enoch Kaz, a brother I've met in a couple other spaces on Twitter. Um, and, we're both in what I believe are kind of similar positions, trying to figure out how to monetize our abilities to create and our abilities to really craft solid ideas that can create and generate opportunities for others or just help humanity, ideas that we have that can help humanity. I think we both got that in common. And I learned that through checking out his Instagram. So make sure you check out his Instagram. It's Enoch Kaz, I believe, Enochkaz. On Twitter, he's Kaz Enoch at Kazenoch. But he popped through the space that was hosted by Drip Lord, myself, and we had a guest that day, two guests scheduled, but one fell ill. Hope you're feeling better today, Homer. The other one was Devin Gann, and she's been doing a great job the past couple weeks, along with Homer, helping us talk through and learn about autism, ADHD, especially on adult adult diagnosed ADHD and autism and unmasking. But one thing I was missing those first 2 weeks was POC representation at the table, and I meant to go chase somebody down for part two. Got side just didn't do it. Didn't handle my business on that and didn't get it done. And still didn't prepare for Sundays either. Doing too many things. Getting organized now. Using tools like Beep. I'm not gonna say the name because I'm not gonna advertise. Um, but yeah, I didn't prepare for Sundays. I got on, I was beat, I was tired. I was like, yo, I don't even feel like getting on the space. I was so beat. But I have this happen often when it comes time to do afternoon activities because I get up so early, but also when I have to do um, social activities because I'm just not a social butterfly by default. I'm somebody who likes to sit by himself with his thoughts. If you know me, you know that's how I operate, right? Um, and we got on the space, started, and Enoch jumped on. He's like, "Yo, I don't know how there's been a space about autism and diversity and neurodivergence, and I wasn't in the space. I missed it. He said he popped up last week and caught the tail end of it. I was excited. I was like, wow, I didn't. He said he holds spaces about autism specifically. He creates spaces for that. So him jumping into the conversation, him and Devin were going back and forth with their experiences and with information and facts, and just I'm sure Kyle was just like me. We were both swimming with all the different things we were learning and picking up. And the conversation was everything, man. There's so much. I can't even talk about everything that went on in there because it's just it was so dense, and there's so much that's going to come from it. That conversation planted a lot of seeds for some things, and I'm really hopeful that I'll get the opportunity to be a part of. Um, but either way, it looks like we may be having Enoch and Devin both join NFT Voices at nftvoices.io. You can hit the become a voice button there and apply. But I'm hoping that they've put in their applications. They Enoch did say he wants to do a neurodivergence, neurodiversity focused space. And pardon me for if I'm misframing it or misquoting how the space should be referred to, how it should be referenced. But he's excited about that. He's talked about things like DAOs, all types of stuff. Check the space on Twitter. It's a recorded Twitter space from on the NFT at NFT Voices account. It, just so much that went on. But one of the other things that he did that he hit on was one of my questions, which is part of how does it relate to me, or what are some specifics on how it relates to me in unique and special ways. And one of those is as a black male. Um, I was really curious about his thoughts there, and I didn't have to ask much because he was already covering all stuff like this. And one of the things he said was he'd really like to talk to some celebrities. He thinks it would make a big difference if some celebrities would get themselves tested, diagnosed, and would come out and tell their stories. And he named two celebrities that he's pretty confident are neurodivergent in some way and maybe even autistic in some way. Sorry if I may be on the spectrum. I'm not sure. I still don't know the terminologies. So pardon me for misspeaking if I'm misspeaking or misarticulating this, not articulating this correctly. But he's the two celebrities he named were Chris Rock and um, Grandmaster Flash. But the wild part is before he said their names, he when he started to open the conversation, I knew where he was going. First person that came to mind for me was Ye. I was like, yo, Ye, I would love to have a conversation with Ye about some stuff like this by myself because I, I feel like I understand him in a lot of ways. I don't agree with a lot of what he says, especially the hurtful comments and the disrespectful comments. Not cool with that. But I think I understand a lot of what he's trying to say a lot of the time. And I understand that he's having major trouble articulating that. And I relate to that in a lot of ways. I struggle to articulate myself when it comes to things I'm passionate about. So um, it was exciting because after that space, I don't know if it was yesterday morning or after Sunday afternoon, I saw a video on YouTube with Kanye saying he doesn't believe he's bipolar, but he thinks he might be slightly autistic. However he worded that may be incorrect. I don't know. I don't understand yet, right? But the fact that I thought about him and then within 24 hours, he delivers a video with him saying he may be um, just really weird to me, man. Really, really weird to me. And it hit me. So I posted a couple things about it, but I didn't go, put together a well produced package that could really, really articulate, you know, what I was feeling, which I think is what's important when sharing stuff like that. I just put together the informational stuff. I saw there were some comments on it. I didn't engage on it much yesterday because, like I said, I was unplugged, I was tired, I was beat. But I'll probably get back to it a little bit. Hopefully today, tomorrow. I don't know, but it was just really dope that popped up that way, that I had that experience. And, hopefully it'll lead to some really fruitful conversations and maybe even get back to him. Maybe I'll get to have a conversation with the dude, with him being in a mindset where we can both have an enjoyable and fruitful conversation. Um, but moving on. I use the tool. I'm not gonna name the tool today again. I might end up naming it actually because there's something else I gotta share in here. But what else went on? I organized a lot of footage over the weekend on my phones, on my laptop. I've been running out of space on my phone for a long time, but I've also just needed to organize footage. So I've been organizing a lot of footage and taking that footage, and I guess I'm going to name the tool, and identifying where it is, how I intend to use it, and making sure that I document that as a to do or as a task inside of Trello. Because a lot of times I shoot so much stuff sometimes that it just gets lost on my camera roll because I don't offload often. I don't have a routine for offloading, anything like that. That's something else I got to develop, is an offload routine. And I think that's something that, if things go right, we'll have a team to do stuff like this, because Yanni and I both generate a lot of footage. We have a whole lot of things, and we both recognize that we can really crush it. Pardon my French. We could really do some banging stuff if we have some assistance in a couple areas. So we're going to really ramp up our search for assistance next month. We're going to find this marketing professional who can help us identify and target our target markets better, and direct content and information and messages to this target market. We're also going to um, get continue what we've been doing with Malcolm, which is getting the business organization together so that we can really get everything locked down, stamped down, and boom. We have some funding things that we're going after and pursuing. But we also will need a social media manager, because the social media is another one of the things that it's working for us to a degree. It's helping us find and connect and build community, but it's not helping us expand our reach. So we need somebody that's going to be able to help us expand our reach to more of those people who really want to receive these messages and connect, not necessarily the people who aren't interested. I get that. That's cool. I respect that. I don't want to be reached by with messages that I don't want anything to do with, or that aren't going to be beneficial to me. But some people who don't want these messages might need these messages. So bear in mind that there's some people who maybe don't want to hear what we have to say, but once they hear it, they'll be like, "Oh shoot, you know what? I rock with that. I'm gonna build with them." All right, so yeah, footage, organized, tangent, right? Um, but I'm excited about all the things that I got to document in Trello, from the camera roll, and all the things that I see that I have to edit and to build and create with. Um, Excited about all the things I have in my queue, including some musical stuff too. I'm actually got a couple of verses. Like I got a verse and a hook, two verses and a hook to that I have to record. I'm excited about that because I haven't. These are all things that I've been asked to submit, and there actually may be more than that. Honestly, I have to. I'm still populating my Trello. So many of these ideas and thoughts and tasks are still ricocheting off the walls of my skull. Trello is helping me stop that. Um, and again, not an endorsement. So organized my to-do list. Took Saturday slow, didn't do much but hanging out with Yanni and Zen. Beautiful day. It's what I'm doing all this for, so I can do more of that. And maybe do that with, some other loved ones eventually down the line too, man. Um, Shout out to my loved ones, man. Uh, had a meeting with Mizzo and Al about Wag Me Syrup and nothing else big except working on that hook. The Wag Me Syrup thing is really interesting, man. I actually edited something for it this morning. First thing I've edited or first video related anything I've touched for it besides uploading content. Can't wait to tell you guys what it's about and to make it happen, man. It's I just can't say anything. I have to. It's hard, man. It's hard, but I got it. Um, Edited a new episode of the Grey Skull. Dropped part 4 of Configure series. It's episode 38. We're getting close to 50 episodes, man. That's dope. But Configure, we talked about UK MCs, including again my heart, Moni Love, and who else did we talk about? We touched on people like Slick Rick, of course. It's interesting, and then I think on this one, this is we filmed this the same day that Kareem filmed the video "Forget It" with Kelvin Bonnet, photographer down there in South Carolina. So Kareem had to come late. I think Kareem actually pops in on this episode, so that's dope. Over the weekend, I also uploaded and scheduled the DAO Tone for release. Should have done that 4 weeks ago, but I got the mix. I didn't, reach out to work to get it mixed until it was too late, till a while, in enough time to reach the date. I hadn't set the date, so all of this is off the cuff, which is how I'm releasing a lot of stuff, honestly. Because again, I'm not doing it for commerce. I'm doing it for peace of mind. So that got released over the weekend. Started working on a song release checklist though, that'll include timelines and stuff. That in Trello again, because I have Grayskull set up inside of Trello, and I'm working on setting it up so that we can get some of our processes in there, so everybody knows what they have to do every time they have to return, create a verse and submit a verse. So every time a song gets mixed down, everything that needs to be created, or every time we go to promote a song, we know everybody that needs to be contacted and all the steps need to be followed. So working on that business process in Trello as well. I worked on that over the weekend. Um, and then I have a note in here that says it's a little challenging as an intuitive creator who's not interested in being a full-time for-profit creator. Um, and that's, oh, okay, because it's followed by another sentence. Um, so I says I started to better define my work versus creation schedule. So that's what I'm talking about. I started to actually define how I'm going to work and how I can make sure that I allot and make time for creation, because a lot of times when I get stuck in work mode, I'm too tired to create. And then in creation mode, work's not getting done on time. So I'm working on finding balance for that. And it's challenging because I'm not a person who wants to create for commerce, so to speak. I want to create to connect, but I don't want to create to sell wares and goods, right? Or sell, yeah, goods. I don't know, to sell my art. So it's hard to be someone who, since I don't do that, I don't create on a schedule. Like people who do that need to create on a schedule. I don't like the idea of creating on a schedule. I'm not interested in it. It to me, when I have to create, I lose the love and I lose the passion for it. That's been my experience thus far, at least, right? So it's challenging for me trying to figure out how to be a creator and keep this creation going for wellness, but also use it as a tool to build community and connections so that I can build what really matters, which is the ability to help artists for commerce or for a living, create opportunities for other artists and other creators for a living, as one of my primary goals. Uh, so, rehumanizing creators, as you'll see, that's the HFR mission, this mission statement on our website. But yeah, that was an interesting note there, man. So it was, like I said, it was the weekend. Maybe I'll just do a quick touch or run through the businesses, see if there's anything, or the communities, and see if there's anything to mention that hasn't been. Uh, nope, you heard the Great Skull updates with Configure and the DAO Tone dropping. The Configure episode. T Bear has a December mini mix. Check that out. I haven't finished it yet. I don't think. I know I started it and it was dope vibe. especially the intro, the way he came into that joint was really, really nice, man. Good stuff there. Beautiful stuff there. Um, but oh yeah, there was a note from HFR, my HFR stuff. I haven't heard back from Kitty on you know, the idea I had on how to do her content. So I started releasing, at least the piece that I sent her because I saw she posted it. So I guess that means she was okay with it. So I think I'm just gonna keep on editing and put stuff out. Just follow what my idea and just execute. I think she'll be okay with that. I know she's doing a lot of things and I see how she works. It's dope seeing that she's on blinders and just go time and respect it. I know she's on a mission. I know what it's like to be on a mission. I wish I could do that sometimes. Um, with what I'm trying to do though, trying to build teams and communities, it's just not gonna work yet. I got to be able to check in with everybody, make sure communication is going well, make sure that we're communicating effectively in a healthy way, all that fun stuff. And yeah, that means I have to slow up on a lot of the things that I really want to do and that I wish I could do. So shout out to Kitty, do your thing. We're here for you when you're ready. Hopefully, we'll see you at the HFR family meeting on Sunday. If anybody wants to come, as a creator or an artist, they want to come to the HFR family meeting, DM me on probably Twitter, maybe Instagram. Those are the places I'm most likely to respond. Or yeah, don't email me. Don't email me. But yeah, DM me if you want to come. We love to have you. We love to expand the family. We'd love to grow the family. An agenda's been sent out to everybody else. I'm gonna have to check back in and just kind of send a little reminder ping to everybody. I think just to mention the fact that we got to come in. But that's about it as far as HFR. Um, Grayskull, I already said that. Project RMA. I know we got a pitch done last week. I heard that we got a partnership agreement in the uh, delivered to us. I haven't had a chance to check that yet because I've been focused on something else that's kind of related to that. Um, can't say anything else. Done. Now I can't say anything about the other thing I was just about to talk about. So done there too. Um, but I'm excited about a few things. Meetings today. Today's tasks. What's on my agenda today before I get up out of here? And I'm also going to get back to reading the book, but this was a long update. I'm not going to do the reading right after this. So tomorrow morning, reading. Um, what is it? Changing. I don't know. I forget the name of the book. I can't remember it. It's basically changing a book about changing yourself, changing the way you think, the way you operate. Part of my rebooting, recoding, recording. Pardon me. So I was coming here to see what's on my to-do list, and I guess I'll share this thing because one of the things I'm scheduled to do. Oh, that's blurry. There. Sorry about that. One of the things I'm scheduled to do is work on. Ding ding. Is work on. Where is it? Oh crap. Is work on getting my tasks together, and I'm working on developing a system for how I do things. And I'm doing that in Trello, right? So in Trello, I have a board right here that you probably see on the screen right now. I think I switched to the view so that you see it. I have a board where you can see it's called Getting It Together. So this is where I keep some of my ideas for the show, by date. Like today's, the DAO Tone was the theme. All the check, all my notes and stuff are right there. And then here are other ideas that I want to use. This one actually is possibly going to be tomorrow's episode. I have the wrong year on that. Pain is non-refundable. So when I have an idea for a show topic or something I like to talk about or discuss, I put it in Trello and just put the idea in here. I make a copy of my templates. Where is my template? Crap, I think I renamed my template. So one of these is a template. Oh, there it is, template up there at the top. So I have this template that I created with a sample with check marks to kind of represent each of the different things I got to talk about. Actually, this one I decided I'm done with. Boom. And done with that one. And I'll keep that one on there because that's a Dragon's Pitchfork task. And we're gonna just go ahead and update that. Oh, sorry, I'm being all quiet while I'm doing this. List it on the website. HFR. So I got to create a services tab on my website to let people know what things they can purchase from me, what kind of services they can purchase from me. Um, so, I'm giving them the opportunity to create those. Do I want to do that? All right. So the other thing I wanted to show you in Trello, the reason I came in here, actually before I got into this part, is you get to see how I'm using getting it together. But like I said, Malcolm was helping me figure out some ways I could be more effective and I could operate more efficiently. And he recommended using a calendaring system, and he recommended using trying the Pomodoro technique or a Pomodoro technique. I know this screen share is off right now, so pardon me. I gotta edit, I gotta fix this because it's driving me crazy, and it's still gonna drive me crazy because it doesn't look right. So let me see if I can just boop boop. All right, how about that? That's a little bit better. It's not as I like it. Still not as pretty as I prefer, but it'll do. It should have a border, all that fun stuff, right? But he recommended having a calendaring system and recommended using the Pomodoro technique to do tasks, which is an on-off sort of system where you start doing something for like 15 minutes and then you switch over and do something, take a break for say 5 minutes, and then you do another 15 minutes of work break. And he said, there are apps that can help you keep track of those timers. So I'm working on testing one of the apps finally starting today. I was supposed to start last week, but I was still doing a whole bunch of other things. I had a whole bunch of meetings and I was all over the place closing things out. So this week I'm getting them going, and I got a meeting today with Malcolm actually today to give him an update. Sorry, you're not gonna get much of an update other than this. Um, but this one I chose is called Focus Keeper. I'm going to test this one out. But if anybody is using any Pomodoro apps, I would love to see what techniques you're using to keep track of your time, or to manage your task execution or whatever. Um, but the other one that I'm doing, I'm working on a layout part. I know I'm sidetracked, but it's for a reason. I have visions. So the other one I created also in order to manage those tasks. He recommended using the big rock pebble sand technique, which is create your big task for the day, and then have a list of the smaller tasks that you can get to in the midst of accomplishing your big task for the day. But make sure you have your big task that you have to get done. I'm kind of looking at a combination of what he's recommending and something I learned from another creator by the name of Aaron on Demand. She has this top three philosophy where she says what are the three things I have to get done today. So these I look at as my big rocks. So for today, I've got three big rocks put in here and on my list. One is a 2 hour meeting, so at least 2 hours worth of meetings. So I needed to put that on because once that's done, that's an accomplishment, especially with the stuff that we got to go over in those meetings. Like I got to really want to be more effective, and I really want to make sure that we're doing the right things here. We're doing our best here, at least for agreements. So though I have my big three, then I got to put in a couple other tasks in here for each day, the different things that I know I have to get done throughout the week. This, at first glance, this planner looked a little confusing, and I was like, I don't know. But I'm starting to see ways that this might work. One thing that's a challenge for me is I don't know what time I'm going to wake up. Usually it's around 4 a.m. And if it's 4 a.m., I usually get straight to business. Um, and I got to figure out something else to do there. I got to figure out how not to just get straight to business because I need to make sure I take some time for myself. I need to make sure I do some sort of workout, do some yoga, something like that. But I also want to make sure, shower, obviously self care, general self care. But I want to do reading in that time, but I also want to do the reading on here. So I'm still trying to decide what to do there. Like I feel like doing the reading on here is helping me learn, practice my speaking, practice orating better, practice my articulation, and it's also holding me accountable for the reading. So it's making sure that I get the reading done, and I'm hoping that it's going to create some connect points, some people I can connect with, and build some stronger or new relationships with as a result as well. So reading the book is important. Um, so yeah, these tasks, I'm interested in using these. Hopefully, this will be better filled out and populated tomorrow. But I'm excited that I have two new tools in my toolbox that I'm going to work on learning how to use this week. So one is the Pomodoro technique using a timer on my phone, a Pomodoro app on my phone. The one I'm using this week is called Focus Keeper. Then the other one is uh, task management inside of Trello for my day-to-day tasks. Which should help me become more organized and more efficient and better at executing my everything I'm trying to do. So yeah, that's it. No reading today, like I said. I appreciate anybody that's checked in with me. If you didn't check in, all good, man. If you did, why does that? Why did I say that? That don't even matter, right? But yeah, man, I appreciate y'all. Thank you. Have a good day.